Caitlyn, I believe you hit the first shot you took today, kind of deep sigh of relief. But what is it like to get out of the shooting slump? But also beyond that, just see the playmaking overall from you down the line to throughout your entire team. 30 assists tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I still probably didn't shoot it as good as I would have liked. But I feel like it's coming. Just trying to continue to get my legs under me. And like I said, pregame, like I feel like I'm a couple shots away from like having a really good game. So, but I mean, I thought my playmaking was really good. There was, no reason for me to really shoot that much. I thought, like, you look at the box, like 12 shot attempts, 11, 9, 8, 7, 6, like just very balanced. And, people executed. And when we have, 5 people in double figures, like, I feel like we're going to be pretty hard to beat. Like, it would take a lot for a team to beat us. And I think we were just kind of firing on all cylinders, moving the ball well, getting to the next action, played out a pick and roll well. And then our defense was good and got us a lot of buckets in transition.
Kind of, Aaliyah, off that point, where have you seen, especially the second half of the last game, going into such a strong first half tonight, and then you're able to keep your foot on the gas? Where do you feel like the biggest change, or I guess change, has been to really be so dominant and consistent offensively as a group?
Honestly, I think it starts on the defensive end. We talk about that all the time, just making sure that we get stops because we like to play fast. We like to get the ball up and go in transition. And so we knew that we just had to make sure that we were focused on that end and make sure that we're connected on the defensive end. And then that sparks our offense and we're good to go.
Aaliyah, you look different. You look a lot stronger.
Slay.
You've had a couple
Thanks.
strong seasons, but is there some kind of secret sauce to your success right now? I mean, you just look a lot stronger and a lot faster.
No, I don't think so. I think just making sure that I was ready to come in. Obviously, playing with the sprinter over here, she likes to get up and down. I think going into this year, I knew that a lot better than coming into my last year. And so for me, I think I was just prepared and ready to go.
Caitlyn, we talk so much about your offense and playmaking and shot making, but defensively, tied your career out with 5 steals tonight.
Ooh.
How do you think that first one, though, I think it might have been on Paige, but just coming across court, you get it, and how do you think that set the tone for the rest of the defense throughout the game?
Yeah, well, I knew my team was ready, and a trap beat on the sideline, so kind of just made a read. I saw she was going to throw it to her post player and was able to get my hand on it and then got a few deflections out of guard-to-guard switches. So I think just being active, like, I can be a really good defender when I choose to and when I work really hard on it and not conserve energy. So proud of myself in that regard. And, I think that probably motivates our offense. Like when I bring a tenacity on the defensive end, I think it really helps our offense go. And, yeah.
Caitlyn, just 13 assists for you and then 30 assists as an entire team. Just what was working so well with you seeing the floor and just the entire team?
Yeah, 30 assists on 40 made shots is about as good as it's going to get. That's really impressive, and I think it just shows the selflessness of this group is you're just trying to find your teammate, trying to get to the next action, trying to give up a good shot for a great shot, and just really proud of this group of how we share the ball, and makes us really hard to guard, like I've said. So that's something that Steph always preaches and something she always talks about is, how many of our field goals are assisted. So we're always looking for high numbers there, and 30 on 40 made field goals is a really good number for us.
Yeah, I like the first half. I like the fact that we had a 75% assist rate. 30 assists on 40 made field goals is really good. That we took care of the ball. 23 points off of turnovers is really good. I thought we rebounded the ball, fairly well. Scoring in the paint, I liked all that. And really, again, like the first 20 minutes, and again, and we say this over and over and over, but it's about building consistency, and it's about stacking that. Like, we have to put 40 minutes together to get to where we want to get to. That's our journey.
How do you think Caitlyn set the tone defensively? I know we talk so much about our offense, but you had to steal there early in the game on Paige for a layup, and I think it ended up with 5 tying her career high.
Yeah, and she had, I think, 7 deflections. You can tell she's starting to feel a little bit better, more explosive. Her anticipation's really good. She read the plays, she read the rotations, did a really good job of getting a hand in the passing lane, staying disciplined to tip it so that she could go steal it. And that's what it's going to take from her, consistently. She's got to be able to bring the offense and the defense, on the other end of the floor. And she's continued to grow in that area throughout the course of the season. And for us to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish, she's got to take more pride in that. And I think she's done that.
back-to-back really strong offensive performances. Where do you feel like the offense is, just the way that you're all able to share the ball, obviously shot 52%, especially in that second quarter too, the way that you all were able to get in transition?
Yeah, I think we got it moving. It started with our defense because we were able to get out in transition. Not just getting steals for scores, but also forcing tough shots, getting rebounds, getting the ball out and going. For us to play in transition, we got to lock in on the defensive end, and the ball was moving. We were playing close to .5 basketball in that second quarter, and really, even though it was back and forth a little bit in the first quarter, I felt good about where we were offensively in the first quarter, not defensively. I think they were shooting like, I don't know, high 60% or something like that at the first quarter. But that's our journey, and that's where we got to get to. And we got to try to minimize the lulls where we start over dribbling and dribbling the entire shot clock or dribbling for 10 to 12 seconds, and get it moving to get it back. But for 3 games now with our whole roster and no real practice, I'm pleased with our progress.
I know kind of in the past we've talked about issues with players taking their foot off the gas in the second half. Just how encouraging was it to get that 20-point lead in the second quarter and then maintain it the rest of the game?
It was encouraging, certainly, for us to be able to maintain it, to be able to stop some of their runs that they went on. That's encouraging. I think we were outscored in the second half, though. And sometimes it's hard to play with those leads, but those leads are never safe in this league. They just aren't. And so for us, again, our journey is to be able to expand on those leads, right? To be able to continue to keep our foot on the gas, not just kind of being in neutral, right? We want to keep going forward. We want to keep progressing. We want to keep growing in the areas that we need to grow.
Steph, you've seen Paige twice this season and how efficient she's been.
Mm-hmm.
You've been a rookie in this league. Can you explain just what we are seeing and maybe how much we should appreciate that level of greatness that early on?
Yeah, I mean, she always stays neutral. She doesn't get rushed. Her pace, her poise, her decision making. She just is a very neutral mindset. And when you play somebody who is really high IQ, who is elite in all areas, and you try to make them uncomfortable, but they kind of just maintain that flow. It makes it tough. I mean, that's the difference in good players and great players, right? And she's only, I don't know how many games in, right? So it's just it's fun to watch. Not as an opponent on the other sideline, but for a lot of young players that come into this league, there's a learning curve, and how quickly they figure it out is always interesting to see. And for Paige, she's figuring it out.